This is their 2 days out of the month, and they can't wait to splash bitches.
Yep.
And do you hear anybody? Where's all the people who marched on D.C. a couple of years ago with guns strapped to their legs just to show this new, you-know-what president that, hey, we can have guns here, you can't do anything about it, Mr. Obama?
Yeah.
So, since you know what I'm saying? Where's all of these guys who said they were doing it for patriotism, for the civil rights of people, and to stick up for Americans and protect homeland and this? Where the fuck are they while they got these people threatening to have them freeze in the snow this winter? They did, mostly.
Yeah.
And when it got stopped, what's the first thing he said? He restarted it, didn't he?
Yes, he
That's
did.
the Patriots I know.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You, Becky, you, Mama, you and the others, Aaron served, but I mean, like, you guys and...
Don't call me sir, I work for a living.
No, I'm not. That's why I didn't include you or Eric, because we serve. But I mean, like, patriots, as far as civilians who actually pay attention and give a fuck. And Mama is actually, she's a cousin. She's Canadian.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You got real civilians who are real patriots. But you got a lot of snakes in the weeds, man.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking snakes in the weeds, because this Standing Rock shit is going down.
How many people I saw that were back in Standing Rock, until Trump got in, and then all of a sudden,
Fuck 'em. And it was fuck 'em.
Yeah.
You know why it was fuck 'em? I'm gonna tell you why. Because all the people who supported it, all the people who were supporting Standing Rock in the beginning, they were supporting it because the information about Standing Rock was still making its way up the chain of command to the current president back then. And as long as they were under the impression that the reason it was happening was because of that because of that president, Mr. Obama, then they were all for it. As soon as Emperor Douchebag took over, he was embarrassing all of New York. The Scott Circus shouldn't even be from Queens. He should be from Alabama somewhere. As soon as he ascended to the throne, suddenly, you're right, Mama. Even going to all the YouTube pages about Standing Rock, you don't see the comments from all these people.
Obama shouldn't have been in there.
I'm telling you, these are not patriots. These are bogeys in the weeds.
But see, there is another facet to that, and that is the land grabs, and many patriots are down
You schooled me to that.
Yep. It's the same thing,
with
Becky.
land grabs down
Yeah.
there. So many different things. I can only fight one battle at a time, and my battle is in Nevada right now. And right now, during
Mama,
Obama,
don't you...
he forced out to put this pipeline in. Obama forced out numerous farms, numerous city homes, numerous homes all the way down through Illinois, Missouri, Idaho, the whole pathway, through every single...
I can't doubt it, because I don't know anything about it. And you schooled me to it. Like, I can't. But what I'm saying is, don't ever think, when you hear me or you ever look at my Google Plus lived it shit where I post shit throughout the day, don't ever think when I'm saying when I'm calling out these chicken hawks and shit, don't think that obviously I'm not talking to you or those like you.
Oh, I know you don't mean that.
Obviously. What I'm talking about is what you yourself know.
It's not Trump. It's the whole system. It's built up to this. It's not just...
Got to remember, 25th floor, 19th floor. You see things from a much more elevated position.
Yeah, Obama forced out all of them. Obama's the one that put BLM and sold their cattle, and, it was the Clinton Foundation all the way down. I mean, our minerals have been sold to Russia. We're selling our land off.
It's not going to stop now. They're going to keep on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Like I told you guys in the beginning, they don't care about us. They're going to push us over to steal what's under our feet. Period.
And now that it's not just the BLM, now they're using and they're taking down many public cities, inside of cities. Every piece of house that gets demolished, they're buying up and buying it as government land. And
think about it. How long has the U.S. government allowed foreigners with foreign businesses and foreign lands through their foreign governments invest and land
That's right.
development in the U.S.
That's right.
No, they're hiding
Been on for
everything
a very
as
long time.
for endangered species, like out west they're using the turtles that in 1992 and in 2015 it was stated that the turtles were doing fine and cattle did no damage to them, but then all of a sudden it's Texas dangerous endangered turtle.
And now it's the frog, Becky. Now it's the frog.
Or they put a monument out in the middle of the desert and they say, oh, we need a monument out here in the middle of nowhere so that we can claim that it's...
Apparently, they've turned that back now. They're not going to do that now with the monument.
Right.
So now what they're thinking, it's still going to be privatized. There's no doubt about it. They're still going to privatize it, and there still will be development regardless. Now, there's one ranch I was looking at the other day that said that, we're doing this for a mouse. Forget the turtle, now there's
mouse.
For a mouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got to save the mouse.
Mama, Mama, throughout your studies and research on that, did you find anything about the Grand Staircase, the Escalante Staircase monument that was brought up on the north rim of the Grand Canyon outside of Kanab, Utah?
Yeah.
That was 1996. That was Clinton, man, and that was the start, Becky. That was the start of Shauna Cox's battle in Kanab, Utah, in 1996, when President Clinton flew in to the Kanab area and made the Grand Staircase, Escalante Staircase, National Monument, and that's where her fight began back in 1996.
And people finally had enough and are standing up, just like they did at Standing Rock, but they're facing, like 50 to lifetime, 50-plus years in prison right now, and the trial begins, the 6th, Monday.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
It's utterly ridiculous. And they've been in prison since a year ago now, without their day in court.
And you think they're going to stop there?
Unbelievable.
Nope. You think they're going to stop at the natives that are fighting at Standing Rock? Do you think they're going to stop at Lavoie? Do you think they're going to stop at the thugs on the street? No.
They're not going to stop with those vets. There's
so
many vets right now, fadings out there.
They're going to roll them over. They're going to roll them over, and I expect him probably to start looking at the last 4 of any vets who are out there and start fucking with their VA benefits in any minute.
That's right.
This is going to happen, folks, and then you're going to see about all these. This is why I start to, only with you guys, like people I trust, do I even accept the whole, hey, thanks for serving, because, like, when I've been doing these hangouts, I told you, you've seen how far I backed up from just this fall when I learned about this shit. I started having to do precursors, like, hey, when they hit you up separately, hey, Julius, like you said, can I throw, well, first of all, listen, I appreciate, thanks for saying, thanks for serving and all that, but you need to know something. 1, I'm infantry. 2, I am in New York. 3, I am black. Now, the fact that I have to precurse things like that made me start backing up off the breadies.
Wow.
Stop fucking talking to them.
Because you
And
can't
breadied is as in civilian, period.
That's a shame that you had to say that right there.
Hey, Becky, like, it would upset someone like you, but you also know how right I am. So what I'm saying is, we're going to see with Standing Rock, with the bunties that Becky talks about a lot, you're going to see all about your patriotism. You got veterans out there holding the line. They're doing exactly what they took the oath for. All enemies, foreign and domestic. They're doing the right thing, standing up.
Thank you for saying that.
Listen,
Thank you for saying that.
They are going to be mulled over like mulch. They're going to be mulled over, and then when all the civilians go back to their regular life, he and whoever he puts, he wanted Sarah Palin at first in front of the Secretary of the VA. Whoever he puts in is going to purge, listen to me carefully, they are going to purge any inactive or retired vets that disagree with the administration.
That's right.
And everybody screaming patriot, and everybody tying yellow ribbons, and everybody with the God bless you for your trip until they find out where you're from or who you are. All of these people, you're going to find out why I call them false patriots.
Are you gonna
And you'll
stand
see that before this summer.
with that?
And you know what? You know what though? The biggest form, and I think that they did this the most disrespectful form of non-patriotism from the U.S. government towards U.S. troops who had died in combat was doing
Didn't even show him coming home.
Bush.
Yeah,
Bush.
didn't show him coming home.
Because when those troops who had died in Iraq were coming back, the caskets were not allowed to be shown
At all.
He didn't want people to see how many people were dying over that bullshit war.
Now, what Eric just said there, you guys who is military or something, you mentioned that and gauge their response, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. I can almost tell you their fucking MOS from how they respond to it. Seriously. You'll see what I mean when you do it this year.
The discussion, because even Bush Senior weighed in on that, and his wife said,
He's a vet.
he got on TV, and they don't need, and the families don't need to see that, is what they said. But do you think,
Bush Senior knows better. What Bush Senior felt?
Bush
Bush Senior said that?
Bush Senior's wife, Bush Senior said,
Barbara.
nurses don't need to see that. And then Bush Senior's wife came on and said, yeah, the families and everyone do not need to see that.
Okay, and now I can explain that perfectly. You know what that's called? That's called Gettn.
Yeah.
Because he's a war hero.
Yeah.
Shot down World War II in the Pacific. He's the real deal, okay?
Yeah.
And yet I remember when Gray Coats, when I was a kid, they were calling him weak, wimp and shit, like when he was running, He also ran the CIA in its heyday, when they were fucking with street dudes and every dictator on earth. This is how we got the coke and crack here in America, okay? So when Bush Senior, who knows better, who's got plenty of brothers of his own and all that, and was almost there himself, when he says, oh, he didn't show the troops, oh, let that go, the parent families don't need to see it, that's his guilty ass who knows that he had his hands elbow deep in everything that happened in Vietnam and the explosion in America after Vietnam because of Vietnam. Yeah. He knows. So that's guilt talking because he knows better. Don't even worry about it.
I think we killed the scientists that did mind control, got him over here. We've had agenda.
Killed him? Well, that experiment went well. Listen, they tested that. They test things like that on the expendable. And that's always the military. But then when it's something really, really greasy, they tested on something more expendable than the military. They went to the inmate population, okay? One of the greatest, the gangster of Boston for all of my lifetime. Recently, as an old man, they had to catch him. Whitey Bulger is a direct experiment in Ultra. This is not, conspiracy. This is legal, historical, news fact, like his eye color. It's a fact. He was literally taken out of federal pen, and he was given the option to sign up for the program, and maybe they shaved some time off. He did it. It drove him nuts, and he was a mass murderer ever since. They didn't catch him until he was in his 70s. This happened 4 years ago?
It's rampant in Hollywood.
But I'm just saying right there. So Whitey Bulger is a Irish mobster who ran Boston. He ran with blacks, Italians, all types of shit. Look at the movies.
I know him.
I have, what I'm telling you is true. Okay? The man was made by the government.
So I guess...
And then released. He was released into general population to be observed. And he was helped. He had the FBI, right hand, CIA was his fucking connect. That's how he got everything, guns, coke, whatever you need. This is why he had it. He emerged out of nowhere. None of the families in New York even knew what the fuck to do. Even big guys like Mike Lucas and shit, around before I was born, they had to fuck with him. They didn't even know where he came from. It's because he was directly connected to deep state. That experiment's still going on. You can believe it.
You don't think if they know
it's a conspiracy.
Rock,
Say
you don't think that if they kill our vets that are standing rock, that break out?
No, I don't, but they're not gonna do that. First of all, I think they could kill them all, and there will be a couple of protests, but the protests will be mainly by those pesky liberals. Most of the so-called flag suckers, you know, they'll say, well, I'm telling you. However, they're not gonna kill them. What they'll do is, they'll break that shit up as soon as Jeff Sessions, the sweet, loving, Southern Christian Baptist man that he is, as soon as Jeff Sessions ascends to the Attorney General's office and can dispatch the FBI and federal marshals and troops as he sees fit, that shit will be broke up. I don't expect it to ride out February. And it'll be broke up ruthlessly, and then, once it's broke up, all of the patriots will go away, so-called patriots. They'll say, oh, well, and then you'll hear the Native Americans, you'll hear the Native Americans saying, how much are you going to back us up? But then every patriot, what I'm telling you, what I expect, this is all opinion right now, every veteran that was there is going to be targeted by Mr. Jeff Sessions under the order of the chief himself, Mr. Orange Small Hands himself. And they're going to look at everything. And the first thing they're going to do, since it's federal, they're just going to look right at the VA right away. If you're getting any benefits whatsoever, they're going to stop that. They're going to make administrative problems for them and fuck them up. You only got to stop the vets. You know, if they get like medicine or something like that, you only got to fuck with that shit for about 30 days, and their whole year is going to be fractured.
You need to fight for that.
That is what, but they're not. I promise you they won't. I promise you they won't. Just like how Mama said that she was seeing all those people who were all supportive of Standing Rock until the election happened, and then suddenly, not half, more than half, go look, do your own, go to YouTube right now and go to the go look at anything that would say, it says something like 2015 or May 2016, a couple months ago, and you'll see all types of support and comments and everything. Go look now.
The whole time.
Like 60% of them are gone. You know why? Because they thought it was because of that President Obama. So, what I'm telling you is when the shit comes down, once Mr. Jeff Sessions takes over the Attorney General's office and brings it back to Southern law, once that happens and they smack Standing Rock down, Bundy's go fuck yourself. The rest of you go fuck yourself. None of these patriots, none of these flag-waving motherfuckers who never fought a day in their life are going to say a damn thing. In fact, they're going to have posters up. Go Trump. Make it great.
No, I disagree. I think that the page...
30 days. We'll see.
Drop down. Go over and Google it yourself. I don't think the support for Standing Rock has dropped down due to, like right-wingers, whatever you want to call them, far radicals or whatever, far right. I don't like to label because leftist, liberal.
I don't either.
Like taking a left hand and a right hand and slapping yourself on the face on either cheek. You're hitting your own body.
That's because you're a patriot, Becky. You see? You see what she just said there? You heard her? It's like smacking your left, taking your left hand, your right hand, your left hand, and smacking yourself. She is a patriot. Basically, what she's admitting there is what the type I'm talking about will never admit. She's admitting right there that I have a right and a left hand that, they're completely different, but they're mine. They're us.
Yeah.
They don't see it that way.
No. That's the people we're talking about, Becky.
You'll have a fat fucker who never had a fight.
Let me put an end to the whole thing right there, because there was yesterday, it was released on Facebook, either last night or this morning, that there was a Senate committee meeting held in Utah, and the Finnecums were invited, and they were heard, and that committee was appalled and putting words into action. And
what?
And at least see that the grievances were heard. Now it's up to patriotic people like Becky and I and Kim and everybody that's kind of with that battlefront knows to follow the trail now, and we've got bulldogs that are trying to follow the trail on something like that. Where is it at?
Yeah,
I believe, hold on, just 1 second, because it's court cases in Oregon and without a big voice in Oregon for those patriots to be found not guilty, it took a big voice. And look what happened in the courtroom to where the Constitution wasn't even being, they wouldn't even let them read the Constitution under witness, okay, under testimony. But I'm telling you right now, this, as we as Americans, this is where we get to put the test. This is how we put the test out because of some, now with Nevada, with Pete Santilli, with the rest of, you know, I mean, look at how the double jeopardy went for the Hammond. And I'm sorry, but I feel I've got good voice out there. I have a strong voice because, I mean, I just do it. It's time. But without that strong voice in Nevada, now, here's our test. If I could bring something to you, Aaron, you know what let her rip.
So, I was thinking it would be highly effective. I don't know about possible, but it would be highly effective if in all of this, as we see the nation slowly going into turmoil, veterans, those who serve and are inactive, because you can't ask active duty brothers and sisters. Active duty brothers and sisters can't do it because they can't be involved in politics. Period.
Right? Yeah.
They'll get NJP. Period. And it should be like that. But veterans, those of us who got out, veterans should organize and go directly to the government, directly to the candy asses that we protect, directly to the wide-eyed faces when you're taking them on tours and shit through the fucking Badland.
Yeah,
we should go to them and let the people,
we're going through a 4-year,
let the regular people hit the streets.
And I'm pushing that. The small voice is becoming very strong. And you got to know how to work those avenues and get that voice out.
You let the civilians do all of the legwork as far as being in the streets and making the noise and this, that, and the other. There ain't nowhere where 10, 15, don't even start approaching numbers like 100, 300, 1,000, all veterans, all with even 214s. There ain't no government office where they can walk into and be denied a sit down anywhere, except maybe the CIA, only because it's, you know, super classified shit they can't tell. But anywhere else they go, Departments of State, perhaps the White House, they'd be at the gate, obviously, because, again, you know, security. But everywhere else, even the fucking Pentagon, I guarantee you, some undersecretary of somewhere will come down and meet with them. Veterans need to start going directly to courthouses and organized, I'm talking about. Directly to courthouses.
I went to your congressman directly and met with the representative here in Arizona.
Individually, with this type of regime, you're going to skyline yourself and you're going to get cut down. But if the veterans organizations that are out there take up social causes and bring it directly to the government for redress, first the government has to talk to us, and when they talk, they know they ain't got to worry about shit like shit being yelled at you if someone's going to throw a tomato or something.
I think that's why we're talking.
We're here as brothers and sisters on behalf of those who we took an oath, including you, in your cufflinks. We took an oath to protect you, and so we're 10 toes up. What we're saying is you're doing business wrong here, and you're about to change the terms of our oath. So would you meet with us and work this shit out? Now, the only way that will happen, the only way that will be effective is at the same time that you have a group of veterans at Congress or at the State Department or at the fucking Social Security Administration or wherever civilians need us to be. It'll only be effective if at the same time you got thousands of civilians in Times Square or blocking traffic in Tennessee or somewhere mass demonstrating in L.A. or somewhere in Missouri or somewhere like the civilians got to be in the street. And if you let them be in the street and let the news cameras follow them, but we go directly to command, that is the most effective way, and I guarantee it's not going to happen.
let me
No,
just
no, it's definitely not
Well,
gonna.
we
Mama, and
I mean,
But do you guys see am I just talking shit, or does that make sense?
no, we saw
Yeah.
that. We've seen that right with Burns, man.
I want to say something as far as the vets getting together and coming together with strength in numbers. Julius, think about how the largest organization that's supposed to be taking care of us is a private organization. That's the Veterans
Yes.
Administration.
Yes.
What is the Veterans Administration? What is the Veterans Administration doing for the vets these days?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Eric.
Exactly.
Eric,
Mhm.
Aaron, we need a Teamsters. You heard it here first.
but
Yeah.
you're going to, okay.
You know, and I've already worked on that, Julius. There's so much back work,
You might need some help. There's people
Oh, my
who you might need some help, my man. Like if you're
Well,
serious.
you know, I'm
There's things,
pulling
you know.
out some heavy hitters. I will tell you that I've got a great contact list and I've got great protection going on. So I've got some heavy hitters out there, man. And
wouldn't doubt
and
it.
the ear. I got the ear, man, and that's already what I've set into place with like my YouTube second channel. It's a documenting channel, but I see an entire network to where we've got public access to all records. And
That
we
is-
can follow
that
the
is-
trail. So you and I can sit here, and while we're talking about this, and we come up with an issue that we want to work on, we can follow the trail and see where that document is at. If it's sitting on somebody's desk, we need to be stamped, finalized to demilitarize the BLM, not
Right.
the BLM you think I'm talking about. The other
I know
BLM.
Becky had to
Yeah,
school me
yeah,
on
yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
she first came in
See,
sideways,
and
she
that's
smacked me
where
in the
we
face.
are at, and that's
how we first started
what I
talking.
prove all the time is we've become so downtrodden and beat down that we're like at the final stretch and we're starting to lose, you know, heavy hitters because they're like, no, it's another freaking puppet show, and I just feel like this is our time, no matter what, to do exactly what you're saying. No matter what, we're going through a puppet show, a 4-year reality show, or whatever. This is
Are you aware of?
lived it. He put up I put up a old McDonald had a farm, and then the BLM took it. And Julius come on thinking I was talking about Black Lives Matter. And
Yeah, and I went at her sideways, and she corrected my ass real quick.
But look where that got you.
Fucking
Look where
Sabrina
that
got
you. That was
involved. Like,
perfect.
it was,
No, look how look how she captivated you, and that's what our battle is. The battle right now is on.
well, then again, I'm a
moved
reasonable
that
guy,
way.
man. I don't sound like it, but I'm reasonable. And I said, we know someone in common who I know her too, even though I don't agree with virtually none of her politics. But I know she's not an evil piece of shit. I know
No,
she
we
will not
are
accept
in a,
it.
Becky
this is why I had
realizes
to
we
slow
are in
down
a
when I
physical
first seen
street
that.
fight where the gloves are off because we've been getting hit below the belt,
but I know
and we're trying to keep it above the belt.
Do you know of labor history
Julius.
any in this country?
I just want to say that although I'm working together as a team because of the attacks we're in, I hope you see that I give you the respect when we talk, and you give me that respect, and that woman has a little bit of trouble showing you some respect.
I'm talking about Sabrina.
Yeah, we don't even need to go there.
If we're talking about that buzzard,
We know,
let
Becky.
me tell you, I don't bite my fucking tongue, and I don't care. But listen,
Oh no, breeding.
I said what I said. I said what I said, and I only said that after repeatedly seeing something that I thought I saw. And what did I think I saw? I thought I saw a snake. I thought I saw feathers from a buzzard, meaning someone who lies, double talks out of their mouth and talks behind people's back, and a buzzard, someone who loves filth. They love some type of darkness, some type of foul shit. And so I seen that repeatedly, and then they jumped out at me, and normally that person will become a ghost to me. I can't tell the difference between them and a lamppost.
Yeah, it's
But
like,
because they happen to mention a family member, because I was stupid enough to think that I'm dealing with people my age or older, so I ain't got to worry about the silly shit. We can talk about real life shit too. And my mother was on a video call with the bitch. My grandmother, you know, she, salty New York City Boricua, man, like she ain't gonna bite her tongue. But she's an old lady, and, you know, she said some things or whatever, but she wasn't on cam, she was talking to me. And this piece of shit understood or whatever, but decided to go high into the left. She tried to act like a little girl, and then came at me crooked. And so here's the deal. I told the bitch, and you know I don't talk like this, and I mean the words that I use. And I told the buzzard when she contacted me, I'm, you know, texting with the bitch, and I'm like, I'm not going to go back and forth with this opera shit. I know what I saw. If you need be, I'll send you a fucking screenshot. I already know. Basically proof shit. I'm not one to stack up chips like that. But when I know I'm dealing with a foul creature, and this foul shit with this bitch happened before Christmas. And here she is
where the
back
gloves
again.
come off. See, this is where the gloves come off.
No, but I'm explaining my personality type to friendly people who I like here.
Yeah,
So I don't stack chips and do shit like that. Like, we're cool people, I have no need. But this particular buzzard, I knew. I have spidey senses. The reason I stayed alive in combat and on these streets is because I got spidey senses. I know when it's someone I got to pay attention to. And I paid attention to the skeezer and showed her, I said, listen, here's the proof. No one has heard me speak of you. I don't give a fuck about you. This is like talk radio to me. We don't vibe. You'll never hear from me again. Even if we're somewhere, I even told her basically, if we're on a panel like this, she's there too, I won't even address you at all. You won't even, you know what I mean? When you talk, it'll be like Charlie Brown to me. You know, I won't, zero contact. I'm an adult. And the bitch got sideways, and I had to remind her who the fuck she's talking to.
Yeah, that's when they come at you harder because you think
the bitch got sideways,
strategy's going to work, but they just go harder.
I don't play them type of games. Like, if you're talking about it, be about it. Because it's a female, don't talk to me like you're a male.
Well,
get a man.
That's why we will not, Becky and I will not.
Go get a man. Here's my grid location. I made sure that she understood.
And that's what healthy debate is
all about. No debate. She took it beyond debate.
Yeah,
she took it beyond debate.
She took it to a whole other level. Personal attacks, and
fuck personal attacks too, because I'm no bitch. When she took it to family, she took it down a road where, when I first met her, this was when I backed up from the dig and everything. And I said, it's a bunch of fucking kids and scumbags, a bunch of bullshit. That Alex shit was going, and Patrick and all that. And I tuned elsewhere. I tried to find some adults. And I thought I'd find some adults. And I find out, I knew something was off when I first seen her. But I said, again, just like the BLM thing with Becky, I said, just because she sounds this way. And with Becky, I was completely wrong. That was a text. But I was talking about this one, her voice and her look. And all of you are adults from all parts of the country. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Furthermore, I'll take it beyond. Don't even respond. I know everyone here agrees. Here's the thing. From her voice alone, spidey senses went up, and I said, sounds like a live one. And I said, let me not do it. And then the topic was something political going on at the time around the election or something. And they seemed to be talking like they were okay. There were some other people on our panel that sound okay, and she sounds okay. I said, you know what? I said, Julie, you know what? When people hear you and people see you, they always think the worst. So how about you not judge somebody? I gave a bitch a chance. It didn't take long. And then I backed off, and they just kept going. So then I stockpiling, because I know the next step is to show you, listen, you're a liar, you're a piece of shit, and before you try to say no or you're not, here's proof. Now leave me the fuck alone. I promise you, you're never going to hear me bring you up. I got a dick and balls. I don't go around talking shit about even men, let alone a woman. And that was it. And then she kept going. So now I got to say, look, bitch, here's my grid location. I assure you, everyone knows the same deal. I am much easier to find in person than on this YouTube shit. Send someone, you know, we don't have to keep doing it.
Blocked you or whatever, and
this ain't a look. See, blocking and all of that. This is all internet shit. I'm somewhere way beyond all of that.
I know, but what I wanted to tell you,
like literally, if she would have, what would have happened?
I think Julius, I think what we're trying to tell you is it's beyond the internet shit. Okay.
Look, guys, I'm not going to talk on this no more. But I'll just say, some guy was being offered, or at least the way my offer always stands and will forever. some guy, if you're gonna talk greasy like that, listen, present the guy. When I crack his head like a fucking egg in front of you, so that you see, I'm gonna walk over to you and slap a fucking tooth out your mouth. And after that, then I'll go inside. And after I pay my retainer, when I come out, now you got a real fucking problem. I didn't say this. I'm telling you guys, this is where mentally I was, and she understood to the point where suddenly the tough shit stopped, and now it's a lie again. Even though you are so stupid, you're texting me constantly with all this shit. Here you go saying, now I'm telling you to stop for legal reasons. And I have to laugh. I'm like, bitch, I have retainers for real fucking reasons. This is a gift. Please, whenever you're ready, Matlock.
And this is where I have to
And I left it at that. And I hope that's the last time I ever got to address this hateful bitch, because every one of you knows she's a hateful bitch. In fact, you, Becky, to be honest, Becky, honestly, Becky,
Julius, we're trying to tell you,
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Strategic plan is to get off of the drama.
My conversation with that one
rooted out.
My conversation with that one began. My conversation with that one on the last note for you to know how much I keep my mouth shut. This must have happened sometime back in, I want to say Halloween, around there sometime. And my introduction was because I was on another panel and this one chimed in. And we hit it off talking. We hit it off talking on another panel where she came on and met me. We hit it off talking where, you know, it sounds like two reasonable people or whatever, and she wanted to talk offline. And I know this is an adult, you know, this ain't like, you know, some flirty shit, let me see cock type shit. This was like, really, let's carry on the conversation. Cool. We carry on the conversation. I find out she's got a show and all of this shit. And everything was all good. But my antenna went up even then, because when I said I'm getting off, and hey, don't worry, I'm going to find you right now like I do to everybody. I'll go to Google Plus and add you, follow you, or if you got a YouTube, I'll try to find it and subscribe. This is just a courtesy that I do. Not even a courtesy. If I like nice people, I want to stay in contact. So I said I'm going to do that, and she stopped me right there. She said, hold on, let me show you something. She went on for like an hour and a half, and it was late night and a part of the week where I'm basically done for this day. So I said, why the fuck not? Fuck it. We were just going to watch a movie anyway. I listened to this soap opera shit, and she's going on and showing me back shows and stories about how she has beef with you, Becky, and how you were starting all of this and knew that she had a court case and all this. Now, understand something before you say anything. Again, I'm telling you, this was back in October.
Yeah, I slapped her.
Notice how your boy's mind works. I look stupid, sound stupid, but I show you there ain't no dummies up here in New York. I knew bullshit when I heard it, and even if it wasn't bullshit, I said, hey, it's got nothing to do with me. Let me keep that aside. I didn't even know who the fuck she was talking about. Then I see you pop up on my homegirl's thing about the BLM thing. And this is how me and you meet, and I put two and two together, and I say, this is the person she's talking about? So over the months, I'm listening to the two, but I already know I'm dealing with a piece of shit. I'm just trying to see if this is going to be a piece of shit for me. Is she a budget for me? And lo and behold, then Bree didn't say much, but other people in her fucking platform start hitting me up individually, telling me about the slithery bastard. And then I seen the things. Even though I did adult time. You're on a live video feed with my mother. Grandma wasn't going to get on because it's not her shit, and she's really, you know, she's an old lady sweetheart. It's my love, but she speaks perfect English and everything, but, you know, it's saying her shit. Come on. Mom didn't even, she just wanted to listen to what she was talking about with Hillary. But they're on a live feed, cams and everything. And the bitch went sideways. That's a no-no. If she was here in the street, I'd spit in her face and tell her, go get your man, tell him I'm out of here. I'm telling you the truth. A real fucking bastard. Don't pull that shit out of me. Don't do that. Ain't that why I went to Paris Island? This is why I actually am one of them vets who I get embarrassed a little bit when I'm outside simply because of some of the people that I run with. And I feel I know it's unbecoming, but I'm changing. Finances are tricky. You all know you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Just know that.
But I'm just saying, this one is way off her fucking high. She's way off. She's brought her high, and she's high and to the right, man. Don't fuck with me with this type of shit. But it ain't got nothing to do with blocking. I got proof. If anybody wants to know. But again, this is the first time I've ever spoken about it. because you
I
guys
want you to
asked.
come on my panel and go hardcore like this live.
I won't. Not about her individually, not about nobody.
Not about her, but I'm talking about everything we talked about previously. But you got to give me a chance to equally talk with you.
Yeah, let Becky go in there, because that's controlled opposition that's going on.
And I think it's good because to go
I'll
back.
do whatever you say, Becky. You know that. I don't mind standing there as the liberal, quote unquote.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Come out thinking you're going to offend my audience or anything. I want them to see a good, discussion going on. And if I disagree with you, me and you can disagree or get along. I mean,
you think this is common, though. This is what, Eric, you got to chime in, man. Becky thinks the way she is. So Becky is someone who, I'm not talking about, your voice and looks and all. Yeah, you're a sweetheart, but her personality, in her mind, she's the type where she'll call bullshit, but she really does make an effort to understand both sides. And most importantly, more than understand both sides, she sees them as attached to her. Like when she made the metaphor, it's like your left hand smacking you and your right hand smacking you. She still sees it as a part of her, not you're over there, they're over there, fucked up. She's a genuine fucking human, man, and a real patriot. But she thinks that the way she is common. And I don't know how to explain it. Maybe you can, Erica. How to explain to her that no one's never, the way she is not common. It's not common.
No, I grew up hindered, Eric. I've never lived within city limits. I grew up in a town of 350 people. All the towns around me, there was no blacks, so I learned no racism. I learned no hate.
See?
Until I moved to Ohio in '86, and my first friend was a black girl, and no problem whatsoever. I'm a country girl. I'm very naive to.
No, not naive. She's wise, man. She's not naive. She's just a sweetheart. But she thinks that her common sense is common. And the first thing that we learn is common sense ain't so fucking common.
No,
And he says it's that. It's even less so than it ever has.
Mama's like that too, but she's a little more salty. Like she'll call state a state.
But I won't do it online. I won't do it
Right.
online. I'll confront you and.
No, don't get me wrong. They're both ladies.
Can
both
we
ladies.
get
It's
back
just
on
that
track?
Becky is-
Because I'm telling you, Becky's been trying to talk, and I want her to lay out her case, because you guys don't understand what we are up against. And I dug in.
Oh, but we
I've
do.
got a great theory. Whether I'm wrong or right, it all pertains to what's going on in the streets right now. And I can prove, man, that is paid, controlled opposition set up at the beginning of 2016. Becky, I mean, just keep
That's
going.
like the Soros stuff.
And that's
Right.
what we're up against here, and it's not so much drama.
And
Right.
you come out a little bit more hardcore, not worrying about my audience. Come out, not pussyfooting around or anything, like thinking you're going to offend anybody, because, damn it, you have a freedom to your speech. And I'm going to come out, and I'm going to see, me, I'll stop you when I want to chime in, and, and
Like
let's
last
talk
time.
about this, because this is a hardcore problem. This is the root, in my opinion, of the problem.
But okay,
and
so
see,
you
that's
mean
what
like
we're
last
up
time,
against.
right?
See, hold on, Julius. That's what we're up against, and that's what we're trying to figure out, because it ties into what your idea is how a group of people are going over this issue, because if it is paid opposition, and that's what we're trying to really decipher, because, I mean, come on, we don't want to throw anybody under the bus, especially if there's ignorance involved. We just kind of want to see people get better and help, and it's going to
But there
take
will be.
patriotism and patriotic people like Becky to be able to help facilitate the stopping of the Civil War, really.
With
Okay,
blind
but-
followers. You've got your paid opposition, and underneath of it, you've got the blind followers that follow the propaganda and believe the paid one. And
I can prove that all the way down to a judge and what happened to the Hammonds in Oregon, with their court case. I can prove it down to that.
I've seen her page. I got schooled on it. Like, I already know.
Yeah, he knows how the boy got murdered.
Absolutely. And it's no different than how they're going to murder everybody else.
It's really not. And, you know, I hear what you're saying, Aaron, man, but...
And then let's do a show, brother.
When you talk, if you want me to talk about, like, what we were talking about here, like, or what we touched on, when I said, you know, my potential, or at least if someone was asking me, like, what would you think as a potential, you know, plan or something like that, when I touched on that point, that's not something I'd really want to say with just, like, in her show. Here's why. I could say that here because you got 2 patriots and you got 3 veterans. And I was talking to what I think veterans should be doing at the same time what the patriots will have to be doing for it to be effective. Now, if I'm on her show, or even your show, anybody's show, there's no...
Oh, you froze.
Yep, Julius, you froze. I was going to tell him, though, when he talks military, like I had to look up NJP and it's non-judicial punishment.
Can you guys hear me?
Punishment, yeah. Yeah, we can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Sorry, man, I don't know. I got dropped somehow. But I wouldn't want to speak to that one point on her show because I don't know who I'm talking to. And clearly I'm saying there's bogeys in the weeds. And if we get real deep in a conversation like that, she's exchanging ideas. You know what that's called? Oh, they're plotting a protest. I'm exchanging ideas on what veterans should be doing. Insurrection sounds pretty insubordinate to me. Like, we're in a different world here, guys. So things have to be done.
No,
that's where I believe in peaceful protest, and I believe that we can get it accomplished just like what Burns, Oregon was. It really was a peaceful protest. You're 1A backed up by your 2nd A, and I'm not even a weapons carrier. I just don't.
Okay, I'll tell you like this. You said weapons carrier, right? So I'll tell you like this. A couple of years ago, a bunch of fat asses who are not cops or anything, most of them, just regular people who have gun fetishes, right? Nothing wrong with that. But they grabbed loaded weapons, like, you know what I'm saying? Extended drop clips and everything, and they had a rally and marched on the White House. We all watched it, and they were proud about it. I am telling you right now, if 100 veterans got together and said, tomorrow we're going to Congress, or we're going to the gates of the White House, and we're going to try to get Donald Trump to hear us on these social issues while we got these people in the street going crazy, and we're all veterans, I promise you, you'll be met with the type of force that if that force would have been there when those guys tried to march to go see that President Obama, they would have cried bloody murder.
Well, let me stop you right there because hold on.
If 100 veterans went there and said, "Hey, with this standing rock business, hey, with the Bundys, and hey, with all of this."
Let me ask you this, Julius: have you been watching Congress the last few days?
I have. Off and on. I've been watching mostly the confirmation hearings. Why? What are you getting at?
Well, I mean, that
I'm waiting for investigation.
It's not. Yeah, see, that's what we have to help let work.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Like, we could do it. Like, if you have somebody like you.
It's not going to be veterans going to the White House. It's going to be veterans getting people off the streets so people can go home to their families.
No, I was just using that as an example. I'm just saying,
right.
Like,
that's
as an
part
example
of the strategic plan. Well, and I'm trying to keep it in line here. That's
okay.
where I come in. Okay, 100. Okay, just
gotcha.
We got metal. You know, pedal to the metal, dude.
Gotcha.
We're doing strategic planning on a Saturday because we're Americans, so we can go to work on Monday and get and watch. I don't want to say watch, but
brother, you know what you should do?
The Congress needs to unfold a little bit, and they need breathing room.
You know,
because we really do have patriotic Americans in there that need protection and breathing room, and let them get it worked out. Now, that's where we need to kind of kick back and watch it happen and just help give them breathing room, and I've got the methods to do that directly right now. Where I do need good people.
Well, you mean give them
and
breathing room to... You mean give who
to work?
Giving the policymakers a chance? Giving the policymakers a chance to...
Well, it's in Congress where things are being stamped, subpoenas are being made, and to let them get that process going. I mean, that's what Chavez was talking about. Boy, everybody's just dragging their feet on me right now, huh? You know, and that's what he was saying a few days ago. I'll tell you about, what was it, last Wednesday or Tuesday, when the Peace Corps was on the panel with the DOJ. Who else? What else? Who else is on that panel?
Department of Justice. Just you wait.
The DOJ, it was to use the DOJ, and that's how we're going to be able to strategically plan on some of the stamps that are made, some of the checks and balances that come into. I mean, I'm telling you, DHS got called out. It was, I saw a clip of that this morning, where the DHS was called out because number 2 on their list is we've got 66,000 immigrants that are in prison for violent offenses and DUIs. 66,000 immigrants that were left on the street, not deported. And see, these are some of the bigger issues in court. And right now, Becky and I's front line, and it looks like I think Becky's still there. The front line is we've got these court cases coming up next week. I think we start, okay? Yeah. And the paid opposition is really working hard against us right now. That you don't see, you don't know, that you don't really, and it's all to hit the masses. And we've got to figure out the way to hit back to the masses.
I would like, when I say we need a thesis, Eric, you, brother, NYC, you know exactly what there's still a lot of old timers around here, like lots, more than ever. They're restless now, like they're more restless than ever. You understand? Like they're waiting. They're like, well, kid, what the thing is, when I say us as a segment, veterans, need a thesis, it's true. That shit'll get your head taken off if you say it in the wrong place. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's what we need it. Because here's the thing. Now, Aaron, if you know anything about, and I know you do, I don't mean that like sarcasm. But when you look at labor history in this country, they fought against it like tooth and nail. We first had to fight to get kids out of the factories before we even had to fight about having the right to have a living wage and not working 15 hours a day, no break. You know, all of that came almost 100 years later. So the labor union at one point in the 50s and 60s, when the streets was at their strongest, ironically, the labor movement got so strong in this country to the point it's still listened to today. As far as what candidate has all the unions, veterans have no representation. If veterans had representation,
I'm promising you, it's about to change. I'm telling you right now, it's about to change.
The guy who went missing, we still don't know where he is, Mr. Hopper, right? So when we look at the truckers' unions, right? These truck drivers and loaders, they got nothing to do with social policy. So how come every politician has to pay attention to them? I'll tell you why. It's not just the money. That came later. What it was is someone organized a segment of society that was critically important, a.k.a. those who deliver the goods. They organized them, and then not only did they organize them, but then that union said to the civilian population, they said, what are your grievances? And then where the unions lined up, the unions always lined up with whatever the main social issues of the American population was, be it taxes or race issues or whatever, stopping the Vietnam War. The unions lined up with people. So what I say is this: all enemies, foreign and domestic. The sooner we hold formation as a segment of society, fellas with DD 214, the sooner we hold formation and get in order, we need to do it about face to the people we swore to defend, or the Constitution of the people we swore to defend. We need to go to those people and say, really? This Constitution that we swore to defend, especially us as Marines and sailors, this Constitution here is under threat? Ladies and gentlemen, civilian population, brothers and sisters, give us your top 3 concerns. They are going to become our top 3 concerns. We will pivot and go to command.
You know, and that's why I think we've got czar networks that are being set up. Eric, chime in on this.
I guarantee you no conspiracy dog not to shut you up.
Chime in on this, because I know
They'll stop that.
He's been sitting there. Eric, let it rip. What is it got on this? This is a perfect, like...
Well, I think when it comes to the veterans and how they're being treated, and these last 2 bullshit wars we've been in, not in defense of the borders of the United States of America, including Alaska and Hawaii, and there's an agenda, it seems like to me, that a very small but powerful and silent minority, command and control, to use men of fighting age who voluntarily go into the armed forces in any way they choose. And then they don't want anybody to see the fallout. And when the fallout is right on our doorsteps, when those veterans come home, they're treated like shit. They're treated worse now than they were treated in the Vietnam War.
Not yet. Just wait.
But even
1
because
year.
during the Vietnam War, you still had the GI Bill. You had a lot of guys able to do important things. They were able to become doctors, lawyers, pilots, whatever livelihood they wanted to go into. Those ones who had the articulation to go and be taught and be trained to do that were able to do that. We don't have that these days, and it shows because we got a lot of veterans who are homeless well after the Vietnam War. Okay? You got guys who are committing suicide. I think higher level than they were even after the Vietnam War. I jump. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of Vietnam War for the shit that was going on there. But our veterans today, I mean, these were the people who fought and managed to make it home. Okay? But they're not in one piece. They're not unscathed. And they got a whole lot of issues. They got a whole lot of problems. And the U.S. government sent them out there, okay? These men and women who gave up parts of their constitutional rights. Because when you go into the military, you give up some of your constitutional rights for the sake of stability, command, and control.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come back into civilian life, okay, yeah, all right, you got those constitutional rights, or so you think you do, but if the government doesn't support you to get well, when you suffer from mental illnesses and physical illnesses and different types of infections and shit because of the area that you've been fighting in, you're breathing in all that shit, you're breathing in all the dust from the guns and ammo that used to fight the wars, or the bombs that's being dropped, or the IEDs and all that type of shit.
My cousin died of poison cancer, so...
Yeah, and these people come home and they don't get treated with even 1/10% of what they're supposed to be expected to fight for, put their lives on the line for 24/7. And a lot of it is bullshit. And then you got the Veterans Administration. What are they doing for these veterans? Years ago, they showed Walter Reed Hospital, okay? One of the oldest and one of the most respected hospitals in the U.S., Walter Reed Hospital, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They showed the place. It was in shambles on the inside. You got
a rodent problem, too.
Only on the inside of one of your mainstay hospitals, military hospitals.
And they had mice.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the fucking buildings are falling apart. And this is where you put your veterans. This is how you help your veterans recuperate for putting their lives on the line for your bullshit. This is what irks me. It burns me the hell up.
And Eric, I want to just jump in there real quick because that is part of my fight. I've got good documentation I'm not a threatening guy, but I do, just like you, Julius, I make my stance. I was able to make my stance at the VA to an important person this past week. And I go, what do I got? I said, what do I got to do to get better? I know the VA doesn't do preventative medical care after the fact. What do I have to do? Do I have to join or get involved in Congress somehow and watch the VA reform happen and be a part of it? And
yes.
Oh, no, you don't need to do that, Mr. Cox.
That's exactly what you should do, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
That means whoever you were talking to, they could see you in a political role, and they were trying to discourage that shit immediately.
Brother,
No,
they're doing things to the veterans, especially what I can prove that's been done to me, okay? It's not on the up and up.
So Aaron, you heard what Eric just said. To me, everything you laid out, I was trying to imagine what would a truck driver's grievance be? What were all the workers' grievances before they unioned up?
You know what? That's the story of Rich Guz right there. No, that's where I got to jump in. That is the story of Rich Guz, the Patriot. Yeah. And Becky D.
You don't know guys or what he does that.
Yeah. Okay, so, hey.
I can't hear him.
Oh, hey, you guys, before anybody leaves, I want to say that I have been recording privately, and Becky and I have talked about this before, where we don't want to say that we start recording. This is a private recording. I've been recording for over an hour.
No, I've never talked to you about recording me.
No, listen, Becky, hold on. We've talked about where when you start the recording, all of a sudden it changes the conversation. Okay? I'm testing Okay, but Becky, I'm telling you right now, I'm testing my platform. I've been recording privately because I didn't want us to get off track. This is really good. So I'm asking permission to either publish, or if everyone wants me to keep it on private, I'll keep it on private, and I'll send you a link. Okay, because this is some really, really deep, intellectual, good conversation that we're recording. You know you're being recorded. Change the whole
thing. I'm just rolling the joint real quick.
Okay. Becky, we have talked about that, where it's like once you hit record, it changes the whole conversation. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't jump my shit. Okay, I'm trying to help us out. That's why I'm doing this now.
Wow.
Let me clarify something, because these people are thinking that I was in cahoots with you on this or something, and I need to clarify something. We have talked only about, like, when we're in Hangouts, how much better our conversation is than when we click the button. That's all we've talked about. We have never talked about recording any of us without permission, ever.
Okay, I'm telling you, this is a private. I've been recording private because I know how important this is. This is frontline shit. No, this is frontline shit, and this is why. No, this is why I do what I do, Becky.
Not
Eric, dog.
Yeah.
No, this is why I do what I do. Okay, so I've been recording for about an hour, you guys, just because this is incredible things that's unrehearsed. There's no script. There's no show. Okay? So, but I'm not going to publish it.
I'm saying no. My answer is no.
What I would do is either...
You should have let us know from the beginning.
I understand. I'm saying that's what I'm trying to do. I didn't want to change because it always changes the freaking conversation.
It doesn't matter though, man, because the thing about it is that when you ask that question, do I have permission to publicize this or keep it private? You hear all of us saying keep it private, okay? The thing about it is that if you would have told us that we were being recorded,
I wouldn't have even
hold on.
added.
Now you guys know what it feels like. You guys know me and Becky and Mike and everybody else getting doxxed.
That's not the point, Aaron. The point is, you can't expect us to accept that you've been recording us for an hour and not give us any idea just because you wanted to see how it changed the conversation.
No, we know how, this is what I do, okay? This is what I do.
No, but that's what I'm in trouble right now for, because someone recorded.
We know.
I'm not thinking you're a bad person, Aaron. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm getting my shit jumped, I know, but this, you just don't know who I am and what I do.
But that takes away our rights.
No, it doesn't. I'm securing them. You don't realize.
Aaron is saying,
Yeah, but I could have said yes or no.
Yes, absolutely.
How can I say yes or no to information I don't have?
Absolutely. That's why I said,
I'll tell you what, the
no, that's why I
honorable
said
thing
this
that
is
you
a
should
private recording. I'm testing
The
my
honorable thing
workstation, number one.
The honorable thing to do would be, when you do end the call, to delete the entire thing, since you're getting the pushback from the people.
Absolutely.
And it is kind of, look, I'm not passing any judgment on you, but this is completely, listen, Shaolin, I don't even know how to address it. I don't think it should be addressed, because it's like,
You guys don't understand my push and what I do and what I've done and the wars I've won, shit that I've been through to secure.
Aaron, look at
The matter is this: you secure our rights most when you inform us of what you're doing. Okay?
Absolutely. That's why.
Shaolin!
What you're doing when you did it.
Yes.
Okay? Understand this, because for me personally, anything that I've said on this hangout, okay, I got nothing to hide. I don't care about other people hearing me say it. But at the same time, though, okay, for you to just pop up on us and say, okay, well, I've been recording you for the last half hour, that's not just and fair.
Hey, at least I gave you a warning. What do you think the freaking CIA does to us?
I personally have nothing to hide on what I do.
That's the point, though. The point is this. We're not talking with the CIA. Okay?
Yeah, we are.
We're talking on a hangout, and we're having a good discussion. but we're not talking with CIA, directly with CIA, okay?
Oh, no, but that's part of my fight. They're listening, promise.
Julius, you got to say something. You're blown away.
And at least I'm trying to have fun with you guys, too. I love you guys. I would not, I'm making my promise, I would not do anything. Becky
Let me
knows.
tell you, hey, Becky, you know something was
Wow.
fucked up? Is I sat here and I was thinking how fucked up it is of me. And I only made the exclusion in my head right here because I'm talking to people, the same, all the panels that we're on. So I'm thinking in my head how fucked up it is for me to always, have that street sense. Like everything you say is, they're listening anyway. And watch what you say. And this is why you see me kind of, not stonewalling, but you see me really popping a flare and making you stop and think about, Aaron, what you were saying about as far as just going deeper into the conversation of writing the ship and how how we would go about doing that. Let's have an exchange of ideas. Let's have a dialogue on political discourse here. We were you were calling for us to go deep. And I was sitting here thinking how fucked up it is with me, because after all, I'm on the panel with 2 Patriot sisters and 2 brothers in arms. I'm saying, well, let's go into this, and then, behold.
It's about integrity. It's like
It is, and that.
And
Hey, you know what? Just like we've all been doxxed, they don't ask.
Stock market plunge, my man.
They don't fucking
Real
ask.
talk.
They don't give you a warning, and they don't all of a sudden chime in, hey, I'm going to make a video about you guys.
Listen, though.
That's what I just told you. That's why I brought up the way I did, and
I backed up from this hangout shit. How many times I backed up already? Now I'm at the small segment, just us.
See, the thing about it is that now you're going into, I'm sorry, Aaron, but you're going into a politics mode now. Okay, you're saying, well, the CIA does it, so what difference does it make if I do it? It makes a difference, because you're directly here on us, okay?
No, it does. There's copyright issues, and legal things that I look at, and this is such
Fuck all
a great
that. Just
point.
amongst, fuck all of the legalities and formalities. As
You're in
people who are so-called, like if we were at dinner right now at a restaurant, we're all friends, we're coworkers, whatever. Fuck the formalities, just decency amongst us.
Absolutely.
You would already know that. You would,
absolutely.
I mean, it's like me, you, and Becky, because you guys, we were in Chris's show, and you say, let's go offline. I go offline, and, you know, the offer is out there to add people. So I'm sitting down at the table with you two. We're having food and drinks, and then I see Eric and Mama and the rest of them outside. I say, come in here, come to the party, you know, come sit down, have dinner. And now this comes down. You don't see how that makes the record skip?
Yeah,
Permanently for me, brother. Like, listen, Marine, for real. Brother, you don't see how that skips.
Standing in front of me
That
right
changes
now,
the handshake every time we walk down the block now.
I'm telling you right now that if you were standing in front of me
No
and we were
offense
talking
or nothing.
for an hour, and then you say, oh, by the way, I've been recording you, I'd have punched you in the face.
Come on.
I'm not even
I'm not,
You know what?
sure.
You've been kicked
Again,
below
listen,
the
I
belt.
follow
Hey,
what-
you know what? Now you know
I
how
agree with
you
Champ
feel.
said. Like, I got nothing to
Now,
hide, but I'm just saying the way it
There's a
was done.
point to all this. There's a point to all this. And yeah, you can do what you want. You can say what you want. There's a point to all this, or else I wouldn't have done it. Or else I wouldn't have done it. Imagine if you're in a hangout and all of a sudden I would have went live. Would you been double pissed and not even tell you?
I'm telling you.
Answer that. Answer that. Answer that.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's happened to me. It's happened to me.
Let me
It's
ask you,
happened to me.
I could care less. I mean,
There you go. You should care less. At least I told you.
no, you're not understanding why I could care less. I could care less because
for an algebra.
I don't care about what I said. I know what the fuck I'm saying. Like I said, did you not hear me verbally say just now how I question myself about how fucked up I am to be at dinner, so to speak, with nice-minded people? And here I am thinking I got to be guarded about certain shit. I was giving myself the third degree, saying, come on, man, enjoy the meal, get into the discussion, and then just
You know, I just gotta say, when I first met
I don't mind. I'm just saying how it was done.
totally opened up though to me, and I've gained Julius' trust, and now
That's all right. I mean, no, it's not like that.
I'm sorry. God.
Again, it was me. I reached out to Eric and Mama, and I think I reached out to Bree and Chat. Like, I was trying to add people while I was listening to Chris, because I knew he was going to end. He was, like, talking music and shit. But, like, we, you know, gonna have a conversation. I had all these people.
You got it done to you.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Hold on, Becky. There's a point to all this. See what you just said?
Positive. You can't adjust it. Except for an algebra, 2 negatives never make a positive. Just because it's been done to you doesn't give you
No,
right.
it's
Well, let me ask
not
you this.
my
Let me
point.
ask you.
No,
Let me
hold
ask you something, Aaron. Let me
on.
ask
No,
you.
hold on, because Becky just hit on it. Becky hit on it exactly right there, Kay. Because I want to ask Becky, who turned over the passwords? Tell me about that. Who turned over the passwords from Toasted to the defendant? You keep it to the defendant.
Toast.
I'm lost.
Gave Brenda. Okay, this is what's out on me right now, a private recording that shouldn't have been recorded. And it's a legal eBay battle that I'm in. And one of these fucking trolls that are chasing after me got to download a private recorded video. And what it was Toasted recorded me without my knowledge. And I'm talking about this eBay user. So yes, it does look like I'm slandering her, because I think I'm in a private fucking hangout. Okay? And he puts it up, gives Brenda the password to his channel, Brenda Becker, and she downloads all this information. And then on 11/16, he takes back all rights to his channel and double verifies his channel. So now I'm playing nice with him so he could copyright strike, trying it every time, because he sent the stuff to my plaintiff now. My private recording of me saying don't buy off eBay username Scooter and all this stuff, which is going to get me in legal trouble, all over someone recording a private hangout on me.
That's right.
Well, here's the thing. If I was looking at this situation, I don't know about that situation, but to you, Aaron, when you say you have a reason, like you meant no malice, you meant no, well, hold on, let me, like,
Aaron, to
you
record
guys,
you saying that?
no, I'm saying like that.
Did you want me to say that to catch that on the recording?
And Becky, I knew we would be getting there.
Did you just want me to say that right there?
No, not for the reason you're thinking right now.
Are you still recording?
You want me to stop?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you obviously recording everything now, like permanently, like in my mind. So let me just say this.
No.
Here,
Here's
how we record it. This is how we
record
test it.
My man, let me ask you something.
See what I do with the comms. I'm a communications guy, and I'm trying to get
Tim Tilly out of jail.
Okay,
I'm
done talking about protesting. I'm done talking about all this other stuff.
Right.
That's why the power of the record button is so important.
So here's what, now hear me out. Look at me, face to face, veteran to veteran, man to man, American to American. Like, get your picture off. Let me see it.
I'm here, man.
I know that, but look at me, face to
Right
face.
here.
Like I remember one time, Becky had to come once when she first met me, she's like, I want you to see me when I say this. It's true. There you go. Now, I lost you. Was that my call?
The reason why is I am
Okay,
kind of.
there you go. Now, check this out, champ. Let me ask you something. Can you hear me?
All right, first, hold on. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so let me look at you. I'm asking you something, like, no hostility, no nothing, because we're starting to be on the phone. We were about to have a discussion.
No, we are having a discussion.
Now you are
This is where we have a real discussion.
Brother, veteran, hear me out, man. Even you're in the Coast Guard. I think my phone is fucking. Shit.
I mean, he's still there, though. He's still there, you're still there.
I'm still here,
You can hear me
brother.
clearly? You can hear me clearly, Eric?
Aaron's avatar's there, that's all. Replace this camera.
My screen just says blank, like I don't see any. Here's the thing, man. I don't know where he went. Can he hear me? Are you still there, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm still here,
still
buddy.
here.
Okay, so I lost your picture. I only see your, like, I don't see you.
It's because I'm a little chink-eyed, okay?
Well, you see me, I'm smoking a joint. Who gives a fuck?
I know. No, trust me.
Are you
the reason why I do what I do is because I
Billy,
think
you're
back.
fast talking me. You're fast talking me, man. And
You know what? You've been talking for the last 2 hours, dude. But keep going. I love it.
So check this out, man. Like, this is, you're sounding a little different. Look, man, we were about to have a deep conversation about the
No,
ills
we
of
did.
this country. No,
We did. And we still
Listen.
are.
So then let me finish. We're about to have a deep conversation about the ills of this country. You're a veteran. You see what's going on. I was some shit, but you're a veteran nonetheless. You see what's going on with just the people. Just the people. You're talking about court cases and got organized and government and this, that, and the other. Why would you want to go deeper into a conversation like that when you hear everybody before the conversation? Yeah, it might be too deep, be careful, this, that, and the other. And then you hear me say, as you're suggesting Becky should do a show, you're trying to get her to do a show about this, and it will be good. And you want veterans to be on the show to give insight on how to organize it, what needs to be done. If you're hearing, quote unquote, a brother in arms tell you that he wouldn't want to do that live on her show just because of the reasons of not wanting to attack her audience, but not being able to know who among her audience is a civilian who is really a patriot and who is really a brother or sister to serve But we wouldn't want to do that on her live show because we can't know. And everybody's telling you that the topic is so deep. This is real shit that's really happening. And you got to be careful what you say going forward. Why would you really think that it would be okay or would make the conversation more enlightening or opening to say, yeah, and by the way, I'm doing with someone like me with a guilty mind always assumes any fucking. Because I remember I was giving myself the third degree saying, you know what, open up, because, you know what I'm saying, open up a little bit, go there with it. And I'm beating myself up saying, you know, it's fucked up, don't hold back like that.
No, don't feel like that at all.
So, but everything that I just said, even though I said it long-winded and broke up because I'm smoking, as you say, I'm talking for 2 hours, meaning I'm talking too fucking much. You understand everything I said. How can you answer that?
No, and trust
No,
me,
and trust me, I wanted to,
Does everyone understand what the fuck I just said?
Yes, and I'm there too.
And I'm there too.
No, I absolutely
No, I
agree.
absolutely agree.
Yep, I completely understand.
I will shut the fuck up and listen for 2 hours just to hear the response.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
No, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
And
No, awesome. It's the truth. Like, I'd like to hear the response.
well,
From a veteran.
yeah, these
These are
really
important issues. Like,
And
this is where I'm gonna
stop recording. Hear the feedback.
I think you should save this so you can hear what you're about to say when you answer my question.
Yeah,
should
see,
record.
and this is the
problem
problem
where we have
technology that gets in the way.
We want this part recorded, Aaron. Keep the recording going.
See, all of a sudden now you want the
recording going.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm being I'm being sarcastic as fuck, but I'm being dead ass serious. I think you should record this part so that you can hear what comes out of your.
No, see, you don't hear me when I was in the beginning. See how we keep going on a path to where we're regressing. From the beginning of the hangout. Okay.
I understand what you're saying, because now that we know we're recording, now we're regressing back on our conversation. Well, what do you expect when you invade our rights?
We've all had our rights been
wait,
stomped on.
I'm making a point. Hold on. We can talk over each other, and I've been doing it all the time, but when someone was to get upset, or if someone had something really serious to say, because we're all friends and we're all of age, we should let that person speak and be answered. I asked a question. It was long-winded, but it was a question. We're friends, Becky and Eric and Mama and you, Aaron, and we're all of age.
Yeah,
this is the serious part of the conversation. This ain't the hangout anymore. This is me at the dinner telling the waitress to get the fuck away. Answer my question before you even answer Becky or anybody else's, just out of respect to me.
Okay. Repeat your question. Not so long-winded.
You didn't understand my question?
Well, come on,
we're all caught up in the moment here.
Listen here. I'll make it
now
clear again. I'll make it clear again. No. Let me be perfectly clear. No fucking misunderstanding. We're full grown. If we're having a conversation amongst patriots and veterans, and we're talking about the ills of this country, and we're already saying that it's getting to a point where it's so serious that you have one veteran, you're trying to make a show. You're telling her to make a show.
No,
I'm not.
Hold on.
Stop right here.
Listen.
Everybody stop.
Don't cut. Guys, I'm going to get pissed off. Let me finish what I was going to say.
No, I'm not getting mad, Julius.
I know what I heard. In the conversation, let me finish. Don't overtalk.
So I want to say this.
Why can I?
I want Aaron just to say what he's done.
I've never stopped you or you've never seen me get upset or anything. I'm not upset now. It's just that what I'm saying is so serious, and I feel like if I don't get upset, then you won't understand how serious I am. I don't want to get upset. Just let me ask my question, and let my question be answered. Like, that's all I'm saying. If we're having a conversation, and I'm not stupid or fucking deaf, if we're having a conversation, and in the midst of that conversation, we're talking about patriots, civilians that are real patriots that understand this country, and we're talking about veterans, brothers and sisters here who serve this country, and we're talking about the ills that the country is in right now, and how it's tearing us apart and what's coming. And the conversation is getting to the point where I'm saying, and everybody's saying, hey, it's a little bit too serious, so let's be careful. Let's have the conversation, but watch your back, Aaron. Watch your back, bro. Julius, watch what we say, because they're going to retaliate. If we're already saying that, and then you bring up to a patriot, civilian, and you tell her, Becky does shows, and you say, hey, you should do a show, and this would be great. And you know what? You're actually making sense, and we all know that we need to do that. But even as you say that, I'm saying, as I'm talking to you and everybody, I'm saying, you know what? I agree with you 100%, but I wouldn't want to do that live on her show.
Yes, and I agree with you there. Yeah.
Wait,
no,
brother,
I agree with you that.
And I tell you, and I say, we need to be cool, because I don't know in her audience. She's even saying, don't hold back, Julius. You can do that, because you sold her on it. She's like, good idea. You sold her.
Yeah.
I'm saying, hold on, because, listen, Becky, I'm not going to pussyfoot, but I don't know who's a real patriot and who's a real brother and sister, and there's a lot of snakes in the grass. We all agree.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's something that is too serious even just for her shoulders, let alone I start saying the brothers and sisters, you say you serve, and I'm saying Eric's there, I did, he did. We're saying, with us, you better be careful during these times, because the federal government is going to be different. You hear all of that. You hear the concerns. Even Mama, she's chiming in as a cousin from Canada, a foreign country, and she even's like, you better. And she's looking from the outside saying, yeah. And you still think that it's okay to, you still thought it was okay. What I'm saying is, what led you to think it was okay?
It took a lot of restraint not to stop you right then and there and go, listen, I'm recording. Okay?
What was your intent?
I am
the mens rea talking about.
Don't realize, Bubba, you don't realize what I went through. You're discounting. I can hear it in your voice. You're like, you're just a Coast Guardman. Shut up. You don't realize, and that's why I started out our conversation. I didn't plan on recording. That's why I started out our conversation in this hangout talking about Douglas Monroe and the things that we've all sacrificed. Okay, and it's on such a bigger scale than you realize, bro. Okay, now
that's your answer to what I just asked you.
And I really took a lot of restraint to not say, dude, I'm recording, but I can always go back and edit or delete. But look how it changed the conversation. Okay, now if you're saying now record,
you guys got to find a way to try to do these things in person. That way we don't have because I think things get lost in translation via video.
This is a big thing.
This is a situation that would be better in person, like at dinner. Like it really would.
No, absolutely. No, I agree with you.
For a minute. Just talk to Mike.
I agree 1,000%.
You know Mike very well. Just talk to Mike a minute and tell him what's going on and what we're talking about. Aaron and Mike.
I don't know who's. Hold on. Who's all in this room? Because if I don't know anybody in this room, I'm jumping off.
Okay, it's Julius, which lives it. He's been on my panel.
I know Julius. Yep.
Eric here he's a vet. He used to be a Marine, and he's Julius's friend, and he's been talking this whole time.
All right, cool. Nice to meet you, Eric. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mom.
This is Mike, Eric, and Mama Linus, and Aaron.
Oh, that's my lover. Mama's my lover.
I love a boy.
I see that.
Can you and Aaron just talk for a brief moment?
I literally just pulled in the driveway and brought my bags into the house, so I just got home.
I'm so sorry, but I just really blew my mind, Aaron, and I know Mike knows you really well, and I thought maybe if you two could just talk for a moment, and if you explain how this went down to Mike.
Mike, I think you should just pack it in for a minute and chill. This can be worked out. And it sounds like we're going to hear this later, so you're being recorded privately. Okay, this is a test that I've been doing.
You stopped recording, Aaron.
You told me to keep going.
It was sarcasm. Julius even told you that.
Oh, well then, see how shit gets misread?
Okay, you can record me. I'm not scared of shit.
Well, and that's, Mike, quick question. Remember in the past, in a hangout where we've talked, man, if we could only go live with something like this, but once we go live, it's like you'll lose it. Right. Okay. Well, we were in a hangout. Shit's going really good. I mean, we were getting really deep, and we started saying it again, talk about live show. Well, I can edit. So what I did is I hit record privately. Okay. And I rolled with it, and then, trust me, I wanted to jump in there. Hey, you guys are being recorded, but I didn't want the conversation to change because of the record button. You know how that goes, Mike.
Because it was such a good conversation?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
And I'm getting pounded for it right now, but I just came out a few minutes ago, and that's why you got cold and shit's freaking out. And see all of a sudden we're on such a different topic and not letting my bro over here get some rest from driving.
It's all right. I made it from Lansing in an hour. I should have done an hour and a half, but I had lead foot. I-69, there's no police ever. So,
Mike, you know what I do? I do out of love. I do because I believe I'm helping protect America. I do what I do. My fight and my struggle is to document. And look how we've been squashed from that. That's some old World War II Nazi tactic. And you know what? It just didn't get used on everybody on the panel here. It's been getting used on everybody in America. And I try to go back and say, the Hammond's court case. If you've dug into the SPCLA, Mike, and what they're capable of, and it all ties in together. And that's why, again, I hit record because I see how people get off track and path. And we've got this one common goal where we know what we need to do, but all of a sudden everybody goes 100 directions and regress, and there's regression. You go backwards. And all of a sudden I'm the asshole. It always happens.
Well, I think
trying to do
right
good.
now.
So when you were in the Coast Guard, you was S2 or they had you as S6?
Well, first of all, you made the mistake of calling me seaman, all right?
Anyways, all I'm saying is that because
S2 or S6 they had you in?
I agree with me because you took away, for somebody who believes in the Constitution, you took away our right of choice to be involved in something that we might not have wanted to be involved in. You didn't give me the choice.
We could talk about that on a big scale, can't we?
Absolutely,
we could. That
But
on a huge scale.
I'm talking about me and you on a personal level, Aaron.
On a personal level, it might be because of how you're thinking it. Like, you was S2 or you was S6?
I'm thinking the Patriot Act needs to go away. I'm thinking NDAA needs to go away.
So do I.
I need, just like you said. And just like you said, I need good people on my back, but obviously I don't. And you see what happens? You see how
nobody else, Mama, just stop what you're doing. Let him talk. Like, it's not bad. I'll make it up to you, Mama. Listen, you was S2 or you was S6?
No, all of a sudden Mama wants to hit me in the face.
She didn't mean it. She's going to let me ask this question.
See what happens?
Everybody's going to be silent.
Everybody turns on each other.
Aaron, brother,
S2 or S6? Were you S2 or were you S6?
Mike, I'm proving a point, and you know what? I always take the hit.
Mike,
I always take the hit.
Mike, I would never disrespect him, you, or anybody here. I thought this was, I invited
no, and there's
here,
no disrespect.
And there's no disrespect. So Mike and Becky and Eric, Mike, Becky, everybody, please. I already have one question that I let it slide that nobody wanted that answered. If any of you, Becky, and I like you a lot, you know it. If you, Mike, who I don't even talk to a lot, if any of you are talking and someone's getting into it and I feel like you're not mad, but it's something that you're serious about, if they don't answer your question, I will repeat your question because I respect you that much in a small panel like this, not on the live show.
Yeah, thanks.
Just right here where it's just friends. Now, nobody, please. I already had one question. You did not answer it sufficiently at all for anyone who was listening with a real fucking ear. I'll let it slide. Again, now, veteran to veteran, brother to brother. I think there may be a disconnect in terms of how you're taught to think. Were you S2 or were you S6?
You don't have to let it slide, Julius.
Were you S2 or were you S6? Please, no one interrupt him. Neither. Well, roger that.
Okay, just like you, my brother,
Roger
veteran.
that. I have suspicion.
Hey, can you?
I hear you,
Are
brother.
you ready for it or what?
I hear you. Well, Mike and Becky, you guys know how to do due diligence.
You know what? This demon.
If you don't know how to do
this
diligence,
demon over here.
ask Eric. Ask Eric. He'll point you in how to do due diligence. I hear you talking. I'll stop interrupting.
Yeah, I just think I don't mean, I'm just frustrated because not everyone's getting.
I love you, Becky. Becky, I love you, and you know what I do is for the better cause.
I
Okay,
understand.
this is
Better cause.
But what?
Better cause.
Okay,
When you cut that grass, boy, everything starts.
Mike, when we talk about our constitutional rights, do we want to break the very thing we're trying to save and fight against?
No, but what I'm thinking, I'm thinking this is I can see where people are kind of worried, you know what I mean, and feel violated, but
yeah,
for sure, I'm 100% on board with that, I do. But on the same token, before we get upset, like from the mindset, knowing Aaron, I don't think that you wanted to lose good information. If we were kicking ass, was your intention to record it and then let everybody know you did and then ask, hey man, let's go live with this, or?
Yes.
No, what I did is I informed that this was being recorded private because we came to a breaking point. And I go, listen, for all intent, I wanted to let you guys know that I privately recorded the last hour, and I'll keep it private. Let's just have a consensus but there were crucial things that were said that Julius is like, I don't want to be on, I don't want to talk about this stuff live.
I'm beyond that now.
I was
talking veteran shit, and I asked the comp guy what the S2 or S6. I heard his response.
No, you don't.
Veteran to veteran, they don't know what you're talking about.
Because I'm in editing. I am a wave editor.
Wrong.
I have technology in my head that I need to get out. See how you overrun? You know what? Tell me this, Marine. Did you know that there was an infantry in the Coast Guard? All of a sudden, the line goes quiet.
Aaron, continue talking to Mike and tell him what you were doing because we did agree. I did agree with you that it had good content in it, but my concern was that Julius had specifically said certain things he wouldn't talk live about.
And that's why I brought it up. I can edit it out. I'm not trying to record a show. I am documenting. I would do anything, whatever you guys want. That's why I put it on the table. Not in a derogatory or a shitty way or a Canada way.
And
I'm not upset, but I understand.
At least I told you guys. See how
Becky,
we've
you're
all
a country
been
girl.
violated.
When you cut the
We've
grass,
all been
you know what
violated very, very much.
What did I say? Bogeys in the fucking weed.
If we're gonna talk and I can't hear one at a time, I'm just gonna hang up. I gotta hear one at a time.
Yep.
The line is quiet.
I think basically then it was that part of the content we didn't really want to record. None of us knew we recorded. All of us are pretty offended because maybe we don't know if we want the content used or not because we would need to have to go back and listen to everything we would say. You know what I mean? It was like kind of infringing upon.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I got you on that.
The very thing
I do.
That's what post-production is for. That's what post-production is for. We all get approval when
added none of this.
if it was be released. But it can be used as evidence, yeah.
All the veterans and patriots need to hear this. You need to play the whole thing. Don't edit nothing. Other veterans and patriots definitely need to hear this.
I would have
exactly what I'm talking about.
I would have liked to have known that it was a protection in the first place.
Well, me too, but you know what? We can all get hit record on it any time. You guys aren't pissed off about that?
I am.
You guys aren't pissed off that the NDAA and the Patriot Act is put up there to hit record and use our data against us?
Absolutely,
and I'm trying to use it for us. I'm trying to use it for us.
Well, I'm talking about the integrity of these people in this room right now. I'm talking about the integrity and trust that I have with the people that I'm conversing with. I'm not talking about the NDAA. I hold you to a higher standard because I trusted you. You know what I mean?
Might as well get it all out, because I won't be back.
Sorry, you know what I mean? I'm not going to hold back because I think it was underhanded. If you gave me the opportunity to decide, you're no better than they are. Because you didn't give me that.
No, don't look at it like that. You can't look at it like that. You can't look at it.
It's an alternative way of looking at it.
But I am.
No, don't look at it.
You got to look at the alternative side. Mama, Jesus.
There is no alternative side.
Yes, there is.
Absolutely there is.
You're either for
alternative facts.
You're either for breaking somebody's trust and getting in there and being underhanded.
Hey, hold on 1 second. Mike, I'm going to ask Mike a question, okay, because I'm going to ask Mike a question. Mike, do you remember when we were put on live and we didn't know it and we were going to hang out?
Yeah.
And Clovis all of a sudden?
Yeah.
That was pretty serious, man. That was really serious. But you know what? At least I went private with what we did. I didn't go live. That's a whole nother level.
Aaron, I don't think that they're. It's kind of I don't like, so I can't speak for anybody else, but me personally, to you, I can see where they would think, because we're all being recorded, we're all on edge right now, especially the way we've been getting hammered too. And but me personally, just speaking for me, and this doesn't go against anybody else, man. I trust you, I love you, but I can see where everybody would be concerned. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. That's why, and you didn't hear the way I presented it, Mike. When I presented it, I said, hey, I'm recording, it's private. See how, and we're trying to get into a serious conversation. Look how we are using the tape. We've got to band together and put our voices together.
You throw me off my
That's the point. That's the point.
Give you a hug, Aaron?
No, I'm not looking for hugs. Because trust me, in the battle that I'm in, I've been in by myself.
But Aaron, can I say that you set me up to personally talk about?
No, it wasn't a setup. It was on the whim, and I didn't want to interrupt a good flow.
No, you did, and that is a ongoing, open legal case of mine. You cannot use that.
And that's why That's why I went private. I didn't go live. I went private.
Toasted recorded me without me, and that's how it got out in the first place. And it is a legal action. You have to. I don't know what you guys are thinking if this is going live or not, but I do not want anything about my eBay stuff in there. I'm stating that right.
Really careful how you talk about it too, Becky.
What is it like? And I feel like almost you put us through a test, like you got in to be our best friends, and then like, look, anybody could take you.
No. If you guys still want to slap me, if you guys still want to slap me when we meet up to go fishing, then do it. Throw me in the water or something. But I'm doing it because I love you. All right? Or else I wouldn't be wasting the time right here.
Becky, if you have an ongoing case, if you have an ongoing case, Becky, and nothing you've said has been different from what you've said in any statements for the ongoing case, You have nothing to worry about. Now, someone admittedly, openly, you know, telling you that they were recording you without you knowing it, such information you don't have to worry about. In fact, that person has more to worry about via entrapment concerns. But I assure you, you have nothing.
Yeah, let's take that fight right to the CIA, man.
No. I mean, in your ongoing case. Becky, did you understand what I was saying to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm telling you this just from...
That's why I was like, I gotta hit
this
record,
from a
because you
scumbag.
said the CIA is the only agency we cannot go to with veterans. Well, how do you know?
I assure you, your
How do you know?
or your eBay case is not at the level of the CIA. For your concerns, sweetheart,
Yeah.
I assure you, what I'm telling you is accurate, and I'm just telling you from a scumbag's point of view. I guarantee you, any attorney will tell you the same. You have nothing to at all. In fact, being that a person openly witnesses unknowingly to you, recording you, if that information should happen to come up, that person, well, they do got to pay a retainer immediately, at least to avoid, you know, standard.
Well, you know,
You don't got anything to worry about.
Aaron would too.
This is why you always catch these types after work, away.
Because I know you, Aaron, and I thought...
You don't have anything to worry
I thought I knew you. I mean, until today, you really caught me off guard, but I hope you realize that cannot
Cut that grass.
go legal. Like, that cannot go out. I have to fight against you if you put that out there.
And trust me, okay? Promise. You say you know me, promise. I said we're doing a private recording. Private. That's how I started it.
Right.
Well, Aaron, man, you got to make sure that no one, that you don't have any enemies. You have an enemy that got control of that shit somehow, or, you know, in some way or something. If that did came up in her case or whatever, she has nothing to worry about, but then immediately, you know, they're going to look in your direction for the type of things that I alluded to. I assure you this will happen. I guarantee you this will happen. Promise.
You guys have no understanding what I've been through.
Oh, I know the law.
With
Trust
the
me,
VA.
on both sides.
On how they've attacked me physically.
Okay, tell me about it. I got 2 retainers right now, just in case shit.
No, he's talking physical attack.
No, I'm not. I'm talking your case.
Oh.
I know you're in the country, but if your concern and your worry is that, hey, you know, yada, 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 this information, what I'm saying is, so long as you haven't said anything different from what the case summary says, what you say or what you told them, you have nothing to worry about. But the fact that someone openly, admittingly, with multiple witnesses, is saying that they were secretly recording you, if that information came up in a case,
don't twist it around. That's not a secret.
No. I'm saying if that information came up, you wouldn't have anything to worry about because information like that is highly prejudiced. This is how
Becky, I
get
know
everywhere. And more importantly, the retaliatory response by the state. If you don't do it yourself, more than likely your attorney does that automatically. Like once they have president's information, and it's determined that it was sought that way, if it's a private person, it's not the government who eavesdropped on you, what happens is that person gets hit up for entrapment. That person just made a case for themselves. I know this is the way our attorneys do it. This is the way it's always done.
Well, it's state to state, Julius.
No.
No.
What I'm talking here is
it's state to state.
Standard operating procedure. You don't have to worry. But listen, Aaron's not the problem.
You can use any type of recording in a court of law.
Despite the fact that he didn't answer my question sufficiently, despite the fact that I asked him a direct military question, and as a veteran, I took that as a slight directly, that he didn't answer that. What I'm telling you is you came on and said, my concern is, hey, Aaron, you can't because of this information in this case. I'm telling you, you don't got to worry about that. Your attorney would handle that hands down so easy, and the court doesn't even accept information gathered like that. Don't worry about it. Number 2, since he's not your enemy and Aaron is not trying to set you up, Aaron says he's not trying to set you up, so what I'm telling you, Aaron, from a scumbag's point of view, is you now have to be very concerned about enemies of your own. Because if one of your enemies got a hold of that information. Somehow, you running your mouth and say, hey, let me show it, and they record, whatever, however, shit happens. If one of your enemies got that, a troll of Aaron, and let's say they somehow tried to use that in her case, the same thing happens. And even worse, that's two parties, conspiratorial type shit. Check with your local, you think I'm lying? Go search information yourself right now. Or if you'd like, you can call any attorney's office in your city tomorrow morning. I promise you, you'll get at least a half-hour free phone time. But I mean, they'll say come in for a half hour, talk to you up to a half hour. After that, you got to pay a fee. Most of them will give you this information. The paralegal at the desk will give you this information. 10-minute phone call tomorrow. Everybody on the phone right now, quote me saying, call in tomorrow and see if I ain't wrong. So I'm telling you, friend, veteran, patriot, make sure that you don't have any enemies that could possibly get a hold of that information.
Like what important information are you talking about?
I'm just saying, because you just did this by accident to test, but she's worried about her case.
No. See, quit.
Don't let the information get out, or else you'd be in a lot.
Quit getting it twisted up, dude.
I mean, because I count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5, 6 of us that were talking now, whatever.
We're talking
when
the
we were
same
talking,
intent.
it was like 4 or 5
Hillary
of us.
Clinton's emails here, bud.
I'm gonna say right
I know
now,
I'm
You're
here in New
accusing
York.
me of the same intent.
I'm not accusing anything. I'm trying to protect you. I'm telling you what will happen should some slithery scumbag shit go down.
No, you don't understand, and I
You
told
can
you at the
confirm it
beginning of the
yourself.
hangout,
I don't know
you
your phone number.
understand who
I don't know
my
what city you're
contacts
in.
are.
I don't know who you
has
know.
protection
I don't know
for
nothing.
me for what I
do know
do.
I think the veteran status is, I am, well, everyone heard me.
What?
That
You want to
you-
see what? You want
I
to
don't
flash
want to
a
see nothing.
T214
I
like
am
Canada
telling
flashed
you right now,
his credentials on his clerical
since Mike likes you, Becky Becky likes you, but she's concerned about her case.
Becky's
but
going to
she
be
likes you.
pissed at me for a
So
while, but
So since they're all here, what I'm going to do is I'll give you the courtesy. What's up, Pandora? Damn, you should have been here earlier. But anyway, what I'm telling you is for your own safety. You better make sure that none of that information gets into her case by accident. Because if it does, it's because it's an enemy
now
of
somebody
yours.
else is recording. Hold on. Somebody else is recording. It's not me.
What? I could. Well, yeah, Pandora. Pandora. Just okay. I invited you earlier when it was a different conversation. Kind of glad you weren't here. Kind of glad you're here now. But now, just assume that it's like a live. It's not live, but clearly. Stick around and listen and see if you want to hang out. If you bounce out, I don't know why. Don't even worry about it. And I apologize to Mama and Eric too. They know that by now. Sure.
Can we keep it to who we are, because you guys at least know Mike and know that I brought Mike in just because he knows Aaron?
I just know Pandora. When you seen all the people I added when you added me, right? When it was a cool conversation earlier, like you seen when I added all the people, Eric and Mama, they were the only two that showed up. But I was adding people trying to make us have a good conversation. Some people came in now, you know. I didn't add anybody now. This is all the people I added before we started.
Yeah. I'm sorry for being late, guys. I had a pretty emotional day today, and my guy surprised me and took me to IHOP. So
Nice.
so I'm full on like French toast and like stuff. So I got the itis.
Hey, Julius, why didn't you just tell her she's being privately recorded? And you just let her say all that?
Because I figured she'd figure it out by what I'm saying, because we're going to talk right back to that. She just distracted me from saying what I was saying to your ass. The information that you recorded, you, for your own fucking personal safety, had best be sure you don't have
you're
an
twisting
enemy.
it up again?
Don't twist shit. Listen to what I'm saying, because I already doubt the veterans
I have been
so
for
I'm only having
for
respect
a long
right now
time.
because of Mike, Becky, and because I don't want to go down this route. Jesus, you guys who've been listening, you see how many times I backed up? Count them now. Listen, for your safety, not hers. Her cases would get heightened by something like this. Prejudicial.
Absolutely.
Everything I told you, pick up your fucking phone number tomorrow and call any lawyer in your town, or wherever the fuck you are, and they'll tell you what I'm telling you. This is how people... So you can test my information, guys, and you guys get back to him. And perhaps it'll be cool. Now, Pandora and you, this is what you would have heard right after if I would have cut you off and you didn't go into telling us about your day. You bring the sunshine. But I started to tell you, and I stopped because I said she's going to figure it out, and I didn't want to just break like that because I was in mid-sentence as you came in, and I was about to give him further information on what the fuck I'm talking about, and you would have picked up, and that's why I said, if you drop off, I know why, don't worry about it. Because I knew you would have picked this up. So when he chimed in there for some reason, I don't know. It's almost like a masochist or something, like people who like pain or some shit. But I got a lot of suspicions, and I told certain people here, everybody here I respect, you know, by association I have to respect him too, but I asked 2 specific questions that will tell these people who know me, you'll know why, you know, I'm sure everybody understands. And,
Right.
you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Keep the grass cut, guys.
Hey, all I can say is if we ever get in a hangout again, just ask me if I'm recording, and I promise I will tell you. Just ask.
Well,
You recording this talk, and I'll say yes or no.
Well, if that's the
Or
case,
you come into a hangout and we're in the same room, say, hey, Cox, are you recording? And I go, I'll stop or keep on going. You're not going to know.
Well, it would behoove you, as Marines say, to take my fucking advice.
And you say it right up front, yes. Yeah, and I would. I would right up front say, hey, guys, I'm recording this.
No,
And
I'm not
I
even talking about that.
broadcast.
I always assume I'm recorded. I'm telling you about the information of the case that she's concerned about. It will behoove you to take my advice.
No. That's why I said it.
I mean, don't listen to me. I mean, wake up tomorrow and call the first 1-800 number in your fucking phone book.
But I don't have to call an 800 number. I got a direct line, all right?
Okay, well then they'll tell you directly.
I know the Patriot Act. I know the NDAA.
I know
the First Amendment.
I mean,
criminal law. It will behoove you to take my advice.
Are you, Aaron? I don't think you're going to use information or anything about Revolution News or anything about eBay.
No.
Okay.
I'm being 100% honest with you, Becky, when I say this, man. But when it's Aaron, I do, man. I trust him, and I don't believe he would hurt anyone. I'm being dead serious when I say that.
I do know
I don't say that about a lot of people, you know. But I understand, however, and I think he understands why everybody would be upset, wouldn't you, Aaron?
Oh yeah. That's why trust me, it took some restraint there for a minute not to say anything, and then I just found our breaking point, jumped in there and said, hey, I'm privately recording.
Well, I have to tell you guys, I don't record anything. I don't do screenshots. I'm an online gamer, so if it's not some awesome play, I don't care.
Trust me, I could be doing anything, and I could be anywhere in the world right now. I promise you that. And it gives me. I mean, we need to be proud of what we have accomplished before I just put that firecracker in our hangout. And I'm proud to be able to share my time with you, and that's why I do some things.
So am I. I'm very proud. I'm very happy with that.
You pissed off at me as you want. Okay, and I understand.
I'm not being sarcastic.
But I always come out. It's a long game. We're involved in a long game, guys.
Yes, we are.
And I trust me. I do what I do because I love humanity. It's not because I wanted to trample all. I'm not pulling the Canada. I'm not pulling some for you to watch chick bullshit that's been happening to us.
Everybody got eyes to see and ears to hear.
I know you want to use it for good. I know all of that. It's just, I think everything we stand on gets, we don't think of ourselves abusing those rights. and that's what everyone jumps, I think.
Oh, yeah, and I understand. Trust me. I wanted to, it took some restraint to say, hey, you guys, it just would have changed everything, okay? Eric, I know that we haven't talked before, probably the last time. I'm very sorry, sir, that I offended you. Everyone, I'm sorry if you are offended, but it's because I believe in a common goal that we have to shock our senses backwards.
I am.
Okay.
I bet you some people
you have to use that.
You
have to take that pissed off feeling that I just gave you, and fucking turn it right around. And it is that type of momentum that we need to march up to the White House is better. Okay, it really is. To fucking jump somewhere. Okay.
I had my I would burn it all to the ground and start all over again because we have gotten way past the thing. If I had the power to teleport, I would make a list, and I would teleport every liberal and every feminist a series of 3 questions. And if they couldn't answer, and it's all based on human decency, right? And if they couldn't answer the question and they give me that perspective bullshit, or they answer with a question, I'm teleporting them into the fires of a volcano. I am sacrificing them. I don't care.
The Wicked Witch of West. Fires of Alll.
Right.
Damn, I like her.
I'm not. Everyone thinks I'm sweet and nice, and I'm really not. I wouldn't say that I'm evil, but I'm really not.
Oh my gosh. We're doing. We're doing.
Hey, speaking of gaming,
Mama,
are you on?
all of Canada's gonna have to build a wall.
Are you on PS4?
Pandora, are you on PS4?
No, I'm on my phone.
Oh, no. Like when you game, because I like to game myself.
Yes, I do.
Let's do some fucking Battlefront.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. I'm having a video game wedding, dude. Like,
oh my god!
I mentioned
you talk to my fiance about some things.
My fiance, who's my best friend, my confidant, my everything, I call him because we're both nerds, so I'm like, you're my secret keeper. Voldemort's never gonna know where I am. But he's my homosexual Dumbledore. Anyway, not my homosexual.
Jeez.
My heterosexual.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Damn it.
He's my heterosexual. But he's a gamer too, and we play a bunch of different games. We met on World of Warcraft, and we became best friends. And then I was single from my high school sweetheart for 2 years, and then he was like, hey, maybe we should give each other a shot. And so we did, and we've been together. We've known each other for about 9 years, and we'll be together this July in 7 years.
Congratulations, for real. I mean that sincerely. Congratulations. That's an awesome story.
Thank you. So, when it came down to the wedding, he's like, what do you want? He did the whole guy thing, the whole chivalrous guy thing, because my guy is a man's man. He and John McClane would have a good old time just going to the bar, not saying a word to each other, and just chugging down drinks. He's that kind of dude. And he's like, and he was trying to be chivalrous, and he was like, well, the wedding's all for the chick, and whatever you want, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, fuck that. If we're going to spend eternity together, then you get to say. I said, but this is what I want, because I've been to so many weddings, and most of the weddings I've been to have ended in divorce, right? So I'm like, weddings for the most part are boring as hell. It's boring, fake bullshit. People spend a bunch of money on people that they don't like, and people do all kinds of I was like, why don't we just have a game at our wedding? And he's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. And he's like, video games? I said, no, I want video games. I want console games. I want PC games. I want card games. I want tabletop games. I even wanted a LARP, dude, but we figured that was too much. because we're inviting, like, all of our, because we LARP. We do a vampire LARP and a werewolf LARP.
I don't even know what the fuck this is. What is this?
LARPing is live action role play. You make a character, and it's basically improv, and it's fun as hell. But,
So could I make myself look like Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean? 'Cause I think when I drink a lot of rum, I walk just like him.
you can totally do that and show there's a human. You make it Raffle Stomp because, you know, vampires and werewolves. But if you wanted to show it like that and you were a werewolf or a vampire, heck yeah, you.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is...
No. Live action roleplay is you meet in one designated area, and they have this all across the country. Like,
the Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is...
I don't want them to try to, like, werewolf or vampire me. Can I be a werewolf with a side?
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device...
well, like, you can't beat the piss out of somebody. Like, it's just light taps with your foam sword.
Oh, I'm out.
It's all talking. Like someone, like the last vampire LARP I went to, the claim that I picked.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is...
soldiers, but we wear power suits.
Some little creep, which we call as a nose.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is...
And I not only dominated him with my abilities, and we
I made him set himself on fire and run away from me.
I am officially old.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is...
What the fuck is wrong with this kid?
Yeah, man, I'm old.
Well, this is for fun though. Like we don't hate.
The point is, do you enjoy yourself? If you enjoy yourself and you're having fun and you're around people you love, man,
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
There's strict rules. Like you can't bring.
The Bluetooth device is...
if you want to pre-game before the game, as long as you.
About stuff that happens. Character's crazy. His character's an
what is his character?
His character, he's a gangrel werewolf.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
And a vampire, but he's
The Bluetooth device is...
oh, he's the sweetest, coolest guy in the world too. And his character.
Aaron's like, fuck, I'm gonna go walking up to the store one day and a vampire werewolf cop's gonna get me.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is...
Put the system, because there's a higher.
Full of shit, man. Like, like, the best thing he said, because like, with the vampire LARP, there's all these different sections, right? And we're the Saaad, and like, we're like, basically the real people. We're like the blue collar.
The Bluetooth